interest for Reorigin is because I know that if other folks fall in love with the indefatigable plasticity of the human brain as much as I have, that they too will be able to, live a life that knows that adaptive change is possible in all things, even the ones that seem the most difficult and the most insurmountable. We can overcome these barriers. And so if I'm able to share that passion, then hopefully Reorigin is able to change lives. So the Reorigin technique is basically teaching the brain to make a completely new association with an already existing set of circumstances. So if a previous trigger initiated a default response of an elevated heart rate, Reorigin, through the very, very simple, accessible steps, but repeated, allows that individual and therefore their brain to then slowly, but with that deliberate practice that I talked about earlier, associate something that was previously noxious, as we say in science, or it caused a fight or flight response. Something that was previously noxious can now be associated with something that is actually affirming, uplifting, inspiring, makes us proud of ourselves through the simplest of repeated actions. And everything we do is laying down connections in the brain, for better or worse. I think it's a really important principle to know. For better or worse, everything we do, all conversations we have, all responses we initiate are being laid down as pathways in the brain. And so anytime we reinforce, those pathways get strengthened. So if we strengthen an affirming association to a previously noxious trigger again and again and again, that's easier to access next time. And each time we practice, it becomes easier to access. And guess what else the brain does? In addition to making new connections, it prunes away the old ones that get less used. And so the less frequently you use that previously noxious maladaptive association to a trigger, the more likely that might get pruned away the next time you're having a blissful sleep, and even more access to that more adaptive, more affirming, more uplifting, more inspiring association you have. And two, it takes advantage of the most beautiful capacity we have as humans, which is to be masters at any skill set, even the ones that we can't see or touch because they're things we feel, right? Or they're taking place in a part of our brain and body that we haven't necessarily spent a lot of time tuning into. And so it's the perfect marriage of two of the simplest but underappreciated ideas, which is it takes little itty bitty, repeated, committed, deliberate changes to create something radically different, and that we are absolutely capable of that because our brain is so plastic and changeable.